Hey folks, welcome back to Chago's Outdoor Channel. Today I'm going to do a video on my Jeep build. This is my Jeep. So here's me. How you doing today? Brought you back to the same lake I did my introduction on. So this is a lake in Wilton, New Hampshire. It's just starting to be the fall season, leaf peeping season. So it's just starting to change colors. It's going to get really beautiful. Anyway, today I wanted to go over my Jeep build. So what I have here today is my Jeep. It's a 2015 Jeep JK Sport. Okay, so we'll go over the basics of the Jeep first. So it does have a modest lift. It has a 2.5-inch Fox Mopar lift, which works fine for me right now. Maybe a little more lift, a little later. And I've got 35-inch tires. So I've got Toyo AT2 tires, 35-inch tires, and Mayhem 17-inch wheels. Okay, right there I've got some Nurf bars, Smittybuilt Nurf bars. Those are actually not what I want. So first thing I put on the Jeep, and as you can see, they are mounted to the body. What I want is rock rails, which should be mounted to the frame. So that was the first thing I put on. Didn't really know what I was doing wrong at first. We'll start out with the front of the Jeep and show you what I got here. So on the front of the Jeep, I've got a worn steel Shorty bumper. Really like that on the mud wagon. It's got the bull bars. What I like about this worn bumper is it's got the integrated fog lights, so you can keep your factory fog lights. You have high lift jack points and recovery points, which is really nice. The bull bars protect it, and I Line-X this to protect it from the corrosion and salt here in New England. As far as my winch, I have a Zeon 10S, 10,000 pound synthetic line winch. I love the worn winches. I had one on my old rig when I was in Oregon, and I beat the crap out of that thing. I had the 9000i, I think. It was a steel cable winch, and this is just really awesome. I put the factory 55 rope gear on the front, shackle on the front to help out a little bit with that. Let's walk around to the side, to the back. So I did put in a CB radio. I'll go over that in a minute. I'll go over the bumper first. I changed the bumper. I replaced it with a Smittybuilt. So it's SRC bumper. What I like about this Smittybuilt bumper is it's got these nice cutouts. So you can, let's see if I can get there without the sun reflection there. These nice cutouts for your departure angle. You've got the rear fog lights. You have integrated, you have your recovery points and high lift jack points integrated that, as well as a hitch, which comes in handy, but I don't really use. So I did add a CB radio. There's my antenna. I have an antenna mount. I'm going to list some of the parts that I used later on, so you guys, those of you who might be interested in putting some of these parts on your rig, come check them out. Here's the CB radio. It is a Cobra 75 CB radio. And so again, I said this is a Jeep Sport. When you buy a Sport, a Wrangler Sport, it is your basic four-wheel drive vehicle. You don't get some of the extra features that you get with the Rubicon, which include lockers, right? So this Jeep Sport came with original gearing. I think it was 3.21. So one of the things I did to this was I did some upgrades to that. I upgraded the gearing from 3.21 to 4.56. So with my 35-inch tires and my 3.6 liter engine, when I'm doing 70 miles on the freeway, it's about 2.75 on the revolutions. So it works out pretty well. I also added Eaton e-lockers front and rear. So now when you add those Eaton e-lockers and you get out there and you start doing some wheeling, something that can happen is you might break an axle. So I did upgrade the axles on the Jeep as well. So I upgraded the front axle. It's a Dana 30. So that I have, I think it's a 4330, which is a Chromoly axle with a little bit of nickel, which makes it stronger. And the rear axle is a Dana 44. Upgraded that with Chromoly axle as well. I think that's a 4140. So anyway, I'll put the correct numbering in that. And so for my switches in here, there's my switches. I added a switch box underneath the hood, so I don't ever have to add any wiring again. I just go to the switch box. So I've got my front and rear lockers in there and my fog light for the rear. And I got 3 additional switches that I could add in the future. So that'll come in handy. Now, when I was a young buck, and I've been four-wheeling for years. I started wheeling when I was a kid in Arizona with my dad. And as I grew and I bought up my own rigs, one year I had a I had a 97 Dodge. I took it out and went four-wheeling. Actually, it was my 2005 Dodge. I went out four-wheeling. Probably shouldn't have been wheeling in a 2005 Dodge, but I tore my front differential, and it cost me $3,500. So one of the things I wanted to do with this rig is I really wanted to put some skid plates on it. And so I went and looked around, and I actually found skid plates for the Dana 30. As I said, I'll list some of these parts later. So there's a Dana 30 with a skid plate. And that is really awesome, I think, because that's going to help protect my rig for years to come. All right, so there's my front skid plate, and I have a Dana 44 skid plate as well. So that's really nice. What else do you get? When you get your underside, it's hard to see without me totally crawling on the ground, which I will try to do. You get a fuel tank skid plate, and you get an evaporator skid plate, and you get this skid plate for your transfer case, and that's all you get when you buy your sport model Jeep. So what I did is I added some additional skid plates. I don't know how well you can see it, but that's the oil pan. There's a engine and transmission skid plate there. And then we've got this cross-member skid plate that protects some of your exhaust systems. So that's really nice as well. Let me see if I can crawl out from under my Jeep here. Ugh. And I have one last additional skid plate that I'd like to share with you. And that is right there. That's my muffler. As you can see from this angle over here, I came down and I smashed that tailpipe one time. It did me little good with the skid plate next to it, but I do have a lot of good protection down there. Another thing some people do when they lift their rigs, if they know they're going to go in water, is right there you see there's a breather valve or breather for your differential. So what I did was I expended my differential breathers, and for my rear it comes up here into this light. So this is right here, you know, where now I wouldn't be able to get in water that high, but that's where my breather valve is for my rear differential. And for my front differential, it's way up here high in my engine compartment, so it's not going to be a problem. Anyway, let me stand back here, give you guys one good last look of the mud wagon. That is my build. I love it. It's a lot of fun. What I'd like to be showing you guys in the next few weeks is, as these colors in New Hampshire, I'm going to move over here and you can see a little bit more of this lake. There's a little bench right here. I'm going to sit on it. It's just gorgeous. Check out this. So check out how this bench is all set up. It's got a rock for one side and you can sit on it. That's pretty sweet. So as I sit on this bench, I want to show you this beautiful lake in Wilton, New Hampshire. What a gorgeous day. I think I'm going to go for a swim. It's like 80 degrees. I brought my swim trunks. I think I'm going to jump in that water and cool off. But anyway, again, let me turn this around so you can see me. This is Chago's Outdoor Channel. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon. I'll let you guys take a look at the lake as we say goodbye.